Welcome back to my channel, everybody. I am RL Melpica, the Eat Coach, Natural Health and Diet Specialist, and today we're going to talk about sun exposure. But first, make sure you hit that subscribe button in your lower right-hand corner so you can get updates of whenever I drop new videos on natural health and diet. So, look, let's talk about the sun, right? How important the sun is. Let's talk about sunburns. Let's talk about sunscreen, all that stuff, right? Because it's something that we should be dealing with on a daily basis. So first and foremost, like understanding how important the sun is imperative to health, right? We talk about foods we're supposed to eat. We talk about the foods we're not supposed to eat. We talk about exercise, right? We talk about emotional health. And if you're somebody who's dealing with any type of, cognitive issue or mental health issue, like sunlight is absolutely imperative. Like I recommend 20 minutes a day at least. And there's obviously some scientific aspects to that as well when we're talking about vitamin D, but just for an emotional aspect, getting outside, being outside is just a huge, huge benefit. Like we're meant to be outside. Like we are animals at nature, when it comes in nature, I should say. Like we're supposed to be outside. That's why when we go outside, we feel better. We feel better when we're outside. That's what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be in nature, symbiotic with nature. And ultimately, it's going to put us in better spirits. It's going to raise our frequency when we're outside. When we're inside, think about everything that we're exposed to. Number one, we're not exposed to the sun. Two, we're exposed to artificial air that we call air conditioning with whatever chemicals are based, through everything that is going through. We have fragrances and household cleaners and electricity. We have EMFs from all of the, whether it's Wi-Fi or whatever it is. Like we're in this cosmic soup when we're in our houses. When we get outside, we're able to shed that. And also we're able to ground. I'm a huge proponent of grounding, going barefoot into the grass, into nature, and connecting energetically. It is an actual thing. Like, maybe I'll do a video on grounding at some point, but it is an actual thing to where it is going to add extreme benefits to your energy and your life and your overall health. Right. So I know a lot of people are on the fence or maybe they struggle with the whole sunscreen thing, especially should I do a natural sunscreen versus a non-natural with this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, like sun exposure comes down to one thing: tolerance. Now, if we went thousands and thousands of years ago when we were all in tropical areas, our tolerance was a lot higher at that time because we were constantly exposed to the sun through migration, through domestication. Like we have our tolerance for the sun is far less, right? If you've lived in the north most of your life or in cold weather climates most of your life, then your sun exposure is even less. So taking that into account, logically, from a natural perspective, what would you do in the sun? You wouldn't shield yourself from the sun because we need the sun. What you're going to do is you're going to build up your tolerance. I like to say 20 minutes in, 20 minutes out, right? So, go 20 minutes in the sun and then, whether that's going in the house or going in the shade or whatever the case may be, 20 minutes out. Right? To build that tolerance so your body can naturally build up to where it can be able to take in more sun. Okay? Now look, the sun is, at the end of the day, when we're talking about the two sides of chemistry, which side is the sun on? On the acid side. Right? So too much of that, is going to have a detriment. But that's where the tolerance comes into play. Because of all the benefits that the sun does provide, from vitamin D to from an energy standpoint, from just being in nature standpoint, all of those things we talked about, the grounding standpoint, Like, it is important to have that balance. So build up. The easy way and the agenda way and the narrative way and the money making way is to, yeah, put on some sunscreen. And if we want to even go further than that, that is by design in itself, right? They want to block the sun. I mean, there's talks about creating an artificial sun, but we'll talk about that another time, right? So when you look at the narrative, you look at how these systems are built in society and whatnot. Yeah, it goes right in line with, oh yeah, put on some sunscreen to block the sun, to block the absorption of the sun into your skin. But the natural way would be to build up that tolerance. Start small, you know, like I said, 20 minutes out in the sun and then 20 minutes out to give your body a rest, to allow it to kind of settle itself from all of that sun exposure, and then build up, and maybe you can go longer and then longer and then longer. That is the natural way to do it. Putting chemicals on your body is no different than putting chemicals inside your body, because guess what? Your skin absorbs the same way. All right. So think about that when we're talking about the sun and the exposure and understanding that. So it is a necessity when it comes to health. You need the sun. If you're not going outside, if you don't do anything outside, you are going to feel the effects of that. It is a detriment to you and your health, right? To ultimately be balanced, to ultimately get to the point of homeostasis, you need sunlight. It's imperative, along with the other things we talk about, okay? So 20 minutes in, 20 minutes out. So anyways, I hope this resonated with you guys. If you have any questions about that or anything like that, like, you reach out, drop a comment, reach out to me directly if you like. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if this resonated with you, and make sure you're hitting that subscribe button in your lower right-hand corner. You guys be good, everybody. Peace, love, and light.